State matchup of the fall season happened on the soccer field today. And something amazing about Jared is that he's only been racing for 2 years, yet he's ranked #1 in the Central region nationally for the Red Line Cup Series. And there's one thing certain about this weekend: Northwestern is going to be hungry, coming off of a close loss to Nebraska, as well as it being homecoming this weekend. One would have expected the loss of Damon Bullock and Greg Garman to be crushing blows on Saturday. Don Bosco had another homecoming night. First on their brand new field, used to be a cornfield. Tonight it was a homecoming setup. Iowa's defense is in for a tough test this weekend, considering Indiana's pass offense ranks tops in the Big Ten. Jared Lenskow isn't your typical high school athlete. He doesn't have any teammates and doesn't play a school sport. Lenskow competes in BMX racing, an extreme sport that's hard to do without a track within 45 minutes of his hometown of Waterloo, but he makes it work. 2 weeks ago, Lenskow represented the state of Iowa in the National BMX Race of Champions in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and came home with the top prize.
It was pretty unbelievable at first. It didn't really sink in until about 10-15 minutes afterwards that I actually won.
While at Nationals in Tulsa, Lenskow also raced in the Grand Open, an event that had 2 qualifying stages. He just so happened to bring home the tallest trophy for his class back to Waterloo in that event as well. So you've been sleeping with the trophies ever since?
Yeah.
And something amazing about Jared is that he's only been racing for 2 years, yet he's ranked #1 in the Central region nationally for the Red Line Cup Series. With 2 national championships under his belt, he says the glory inspires him to follow his dream.
It had to be on the USA BMX racing team. It'd be a far-fetched, but it's definitely achievable.
Lenskow says he travels at least once a week to a track to improve his skills, like this championship course in East Moline, Illinois. Although the trip is more than 2 hours long, the new hardware he acquired in Tulsa keeps him coming back for more. In East Moline, Illinois, Ben Jordan, KWWL News. After a hot start in the Big Ten with wins over Minnesota and Michigan State, the Hawks have dropped back-to-back games.
I'm concerned about everything right now, offensively, defensively, special teams, and just how we play collectively.
As noise swarms around Iowa's team that hasn't shown much improvement since the start of the season, Iowa needs 2 more wins to become bowl eligible, something they've done 11 straight years. But with 4 games left, Hawkeye teammates still have faith.
When we come to work here, we have a system we believe in. We know it works.
This Saturday, Iowa faces a 3-5 Indiana team whose record is not indicative of their season. 4 of their 5 losses were by 4 points or less.
Yeah, it won't be easy this week. This is another high-tempo group, the 3rd week in a row.
Iowa's defense is in for a tough test this weekend, considering Indiana's pass offense ranks tops in the Big Ten.
In this situation, obviously with them passing a little bit more, then, it'll put us a little bit more added pressure to get pressure on the quarterback.
The Hawkeyes' offense has an opportunity to shine as Indiana falls at the bottom of the conference for total defense. But quarterback James Vandenberg says they have something to be aware of.
They take some risks, but it's a high-risk, high-reward defense. They believe in what they're doing, and they do a good job at it. So we got to make sure that we can hold up when they do want to pressure us and take advantage of some one-on-one opportunities.
Reporting in Iowa City, this is Ben Jordan, KWWL News.
The way I felt was embarrassed. I know a lot of guys on the team felt the same way.
As Iowa tries to forget about a disheartening loss to Penn State in front of a home crowd at Kinnick, a lot of fingers were pointed in every direction for who to blame. The Hawks didn't play well on offense, defense, or special teams, but senior James Vandenberg acknowledges himself as part of the blame.
Well, obviously, I feel like I take a lot of responsibility. I'd like to think that I'm controlling a lot of the stuff we do, and offense football is 11 guys, but at the same time, it's my job to lead those 11 guys.
Although Vandenberg completed less than half of his passing attempts, his starting job is not in jeopardy, according to Ferentz.
To evaluate what happened Saturday, any one player's performance or, job status, it'd be tough to do because it just, there wasn't much that went well.
Looking on to Northwestern, both defenses on average allow less than 23 points a game. However, the Hawks need to be mindful of the Wildcats' rushing attack, led by Vernick Mark. On top of that, a 2-quarterback system, with Trevor Simeon making a majority of the passes and Kane Coulter showcasing the mobile attack with 8 rushing touchdowns this season.
And, Kane Coulter, put him at slot, put him out wide, running back, quarterback, just moving guys around, and they're really just generating huge gaps in the run game. That's what it comes down to.
And there's one thing certain about this weekend, Northwestern is going to be hungry, coming off of a close loss to Nebraska, as well as it being homecoming this weekend. Reporting in Iowa City, this is Ben Jordan, KWWL. When everyone thought Mark Weissman was a saving grace for the Hawkeye season, the notorious running back curse has struck again. Here's Weissman conducting business as usual, running for over 100 yards and scoring a touchdown for the 4th straight week. But Michigan State left him with a sprained ankle, and heading into this weekend's game against Penn State, the rumor is near reality. Weissman is most likely not playing.
He's clear to play. He's not in risk. So it's can he play effectively? And that's a big if right now.
So for the 5th time this season, the Hawks coaching staff may have to use a line all too familiar. Next man in.
We have a lot of confidence in Greg. He's a really talented guy, and not only Greg, but Jordan and Mike Malloy if we needed him.
Aside from the running back position, the Iowa receiving corps continues to progress, but is struggling with getting the ball into the end zone. This weekend may need to be a more balanced attack to overcome a tough defense.
We're not going to give up on the run, but we're going to have to try to compensate a little bit and spread it around.
We're going to have to step up, so that takes away the running game a little bit. So we have to go to the passing game maybe. It's all about game plan. It depends on what the coaches want to do.
With Weissman likely out and Garmin in this weekend, he could be in for a tough test, considering Penn State's defense is ranked 15th in the nation for points allowed. Reporting in Iowa City, this is Ben Jordan, KWWL. With the Hawkeyes already thin at running back, one would have expected the loss of Damon Bullock and Greg Garmin to be crushing blows on Saturday, but fullback Mark Weissman stepped in and provided major fireworks. Weissman pulled off some punishing runs that ended with him gaining over 100 yards on a day while picking up 3 touchdowns and the first 3 of his career. The Hawkeye sophomore started the season slotted as Iowa's number 5 tailback, but he turned out to be the top choice against the Panthers. He may have some adjustments he still has to make.
That's my style of running, and it's what it is. I definitely need to work on maybe a little moves, trying to get around him that way, but that right now that was my style of running as a fullback.
That's just kind of Mark's attitude day to day. He came out and did it on Saturday, but he's like that, Tuesday through Friday during the game week. He's a tough runner, hard guy to bring down, and just has a lot of pride, and we're really excited to have him in block form.
Even before today, a lot of us had a lot of confidence in Mark, and he's a great guy. He's been around the program for a year and a half now, and a guy that's really dependable back there.
Iowa will host Central Michigan out of the MAC next Saturday. On the other side of the ball, the UNI offense came out smoking, going 83 yards for a touchdown on their first drive. But exactly like a week ago against Iowa State, the Hawkeye defense flexed their muscles and kept the Panthers out of the end zone. UNI quarterback Sawyer Kollmorgen talked about that after the game.
It was just a great effort by them, making adjustments, doing different things to kind of rattle us. And I think that, we did the best that we could. And I couldn't ask any more from any of my guys, from David, receivers, linemen. They all did their jobs, and we did the best we could.
The Panthers have a tough road ahead as they open up conference play at Youngstown State. The Iowa State moves on to a bye week after rolling over Western Illinois last night 37-3. Seal Jans threw for 209 yards and 3 touchdowns and just over 1/2 of work in the game. The Cyclones were dominant in about every single category except for turnovers, and that one bothers Coach Paul Rhoads.
We had 3, and they had 0, and God bless us. We win more games losing the turnover battle than anybody in America. I don't like that.
And it's kind of shooting ourselves in the foot. I had a fumble. We had to drop 3rd down, and then we had a 3rd down where we had a penalty. So there's 3 drives. We just got to keep realizing that, if we don't shoot ourselves in the foot, then we can be pretty good.
The Cyclones are off this week. They'll open Big 12 play, hosting Texas Tech on the 29th. To the NFL, the Vikings looking for a miracle for the 2nd week in a row. Down 14 to the Colts with 5 minutes left. This ball gets tipped twice. It somehow ends up in Stephen Burton's hands. Minnesota pulls within 7. Same score here. Final minute, Christian Ponder will find Kyle Rudolph for 6 yards to tie up the game, and it looked like it was going to be going into OT, but Indy would get on the field into field goal range and a Vinatieri from 53, and he nails it to put it out of reach, 23-20. That's a wrap of sports. This is Ben Jordan. We'll be right back.